Okay, welcome everyone. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Marmot Town Council, October 17th. Those that choose to do so, please stand and join me for the invocation pledge, please. Teresa, would you lead us in prayer?
Sure. Father, we come before you in the name of Jesus, and Father, we give you thanksgiving and praise for this evening, and thank you for the ones that are attending here in the building, and thank you for the ones that are listening online, live, and Father, I just pray that you'll just be with us and just lead us, guide, and just direct us and give us wisdom in all things and help us to make the right decisions to further the town. And Father, just pray that you'll just be with us and lead and guide and direct us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Michael, would you lead us in the pledge? Sure.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome again. Please let the record reflect that council is in full attendance with the exception of Councilperson Bass. Next item on the agenda is the approval of council meeting minutes. The first set being September 19th, 2022, regular meeting. If you've had time to review, do you have any suggested changes or additions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
Okay, I have a motion to from Councilperson McGee. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Councilperson Long. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the set of minutes from the October 6th special meeting. Once you have a chance to review, please let me know if you have any recommended changes. And if not, a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion.
Motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Make a second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next are committee and department reports, beginning with finance. Roger? Tell you what, if you have a second, we've got a guest here. Ms. Castle, would you like to address council regarding the Marmot Cemetery? I know it's a little out of order, but with council's permission.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Please, step to the mic if you want. Sorry, Raj.
She would come do, you came did the Good News Club, yep.
Just for your own knowledge, you can actually take an item out of order. What you do is make a motion to waive the rules,
Okay.
somebody seconds it, and then you say, take item number 37 first, whatever they take it. It's a real simple process, it's just to be tidy.
Okay.
Motion to waive
Okay.
the rules, second, all in favor say aye. Does everybody agree to take this item from the agenda? Everybody, real simple, but just call the motion.
Okay, well, do I have a motion to waive the rules?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I know that the cemetery has been a sore spot. I don't have any magical answers. I wish I did. But I would just like to present some numbers basically out there. And, you know, because I know, you know, that in these meetings I have been a hot topic. And first of all, you know, I'm not hard to get along with. I mean, I want that cemetery up there looking good. You all have, you know, people buried up there. I have people, you know, buried up there, and I want it to look good. However, saying that, the funds are not there. We are not a perpetual care cemetery. What a perpetual care cemetery is it's a cemetery where funds have been set aside to cover I'm sorry that I'm shaking, but I have.
You're fine.
You're
I
fine.
have-
That's okay.
I have Parkinson's, so.
It's all right.
So,
Why don't you move the mic just a little bit closer to?
That way people can hear.
People online can hear. Yeah, it'll move, just move it, yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Make it
Okay.
easier for her.
For the funds that come in, I send out letters. This has been the way that it has been done, I know, for 20 years or more. My husband had the cemetery, and that's why I have it now, because he passed away. And so we would send out letters asking for, donations to cut. Well, from those donations, letters that I send out, about 75% send in money. And that's a pretty good, thing. So this year I've taken in $68 And from that, I have to pay my sales tax, and I have to pay income tax. So that leaves me a net, basically, to work with of $5,100. Now, I know that people wonder why it can't be cut every 2 weeks. If we would cut it every 2 weeks, we're looking at $9,000. For the first 2 years, I have paid that out of my pocket, out of funds that my husband had left, So the difference comes up to about $38 to $40-some-hundred, a year. So by cutting it once a month, this year I broke even. Well, for $3, but I broke even. So that's what's only getting cut once a month. Now, I told you about the letters that I send out. There's about 75%, and that's a good return. However, I send out a total of like $8,700, I don't send them out because I don't have addresses. The people are deceased, and, there's no one else left to pay or won't pay. So that's, $8,700. Then there are 340 unknown graves up there from where the Department of Highway came through, I think it was
It was in the 70s.
Yeah. They came through, and all the ones, that they could. This was back, I think, when Mr. Sutphen had the cemetery. All the ones that could be, found, they were relocated. However, there was some that couldn't be. So, out of that, even charging like $15 a lot on those, that's like $5,000 right there. That, there is no one to pay. Someone has said, well, why don't you just cut who pays? Well, you'd really talk about me then. Right. Because it would look terrible. So that's where I'm at. I don't, like I said, I don't have any answers. And, everything was going pretty good, I thought, till here recently. But I just wanted you all to know my standpoint. I'm not, derelicted my duties or anything. And, I have David Flack cutting for me. He seems to think that maybe some of that's stemming from him cutting it. But, I have him cutting it. He's been, good to me. And I can't just push him aside to get someone else, And I think, what we pay, is fair. I don't expect him to go up here and cut $300 because it's, several days. So I feel, what I pay him is good, and I would like to pay more. But, he's worked with me. He knows, my situation and everything about, people, not paying and everything. So that's basically all I wanted, and I am trying to get rid of it. I have asked people, no, we don't want it. My husband had a monument shop and a vault business, and people will come up and say, well, I'll take the vault business. And I'll say, well, what about the cemetery? Oh, we don't want the cemetery. And so I'm stuck with it till, God sends somebody. And I am praying for someone to know, to take it off my hands. But I was just wanting to tell you all that, and I thank you all for listening. And so,
And maybe that will help clarify and clear it up for some citizens and
yeah,
bring some understanding.
yeah. And, I'm not, I didn't pocket all this money,
Yes.
I just did. And, I have my, financial, my records, that I can prove to them, I did.
Sure.
So, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Give her that. I've never received a letter. I've never received
was
a
gonna
letter
say-
for my payment.
I don't think anyone
Okay,
does either.
see,
They
that's-
give some.
See, we've never received a letter.
Okay.
No,
That Craig
ma'am, we
said
haven't.
that Pumpkin does get one every year.
We've never got one.
Really?
No.
Okay.
So that's why I want to
Okay,
Get a
so it's
letter.
the James Skeens lot.
uh-huh.
Okay. And see, here's another thing is, I'm not for sure. I'm climbing the seat of my pants up there. I mean, I have some maps, but they were not good. They are not good. And, so that's part of the problem is from
Right.
the mowing book
Right.
that I use,
Right, Right.
there's not in there.
right.
So, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know what, if people haven't been getting a bill, getting a letter, maybe they should contact you so they
Yeah,
can maybe
absolutely.
provide some donations towards their family's lot. To get them, I mean, I'm just telling people it's listening.
Yeah.
Maybe they need to, maybe they'll understand
Yeah,
now.
I've never got a letter to pay
Yeah.
Yeah.
dollars.
What would
Or I
you
would've
like
been
to
paying.
put over the mic, like leave a telephone number, something somebody can contact you if they aren't getting a bill or?
Okay, my phone number, there is a business phone, but I'm not there a lot. I have another gentleman that he's sort of taken over my,
Do you get your
the
messages?
gray.
Do you get your
He
messages?
checks my messages for me, and that number is 304-720-6962. And my cell phone number is 304-421-3410. So thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Kessel.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Okay, resuming the regular schedule, Roger? Sorry about that, Roger.
You like hanging out with us, don't you?
All right, good evening. Tonight I'll be going over the September 30th report, which is the third month of FY 2023. On the first page, well, I hope it's your first page, is the balance sheet, and the account balances at the end of the month were 150, the general fund, 158,017. The Labor Day account, 2455. Call severance, 10,409. Special projects, which is in the Board of Treasury Investment Fund, 133,381. The stabilization, which is also in the BTI, 225,101. Parks and Recreation, 15,942. Municipal Court, 20,488. Special Police, 16,907. Garbage and Sewer, 28,928. The ARPA funds, 298,840. And the contributions, which are also in the BTI, 14,215. All right, the next two pages are the interim statement of revenues and expenses. As you can see, for this month, we had a revenue of $89,080, which was about 50,000 lower than last year. And if you look on the next page, the expenditures for the month were $116,088 for a deficit of 27,000, and the expenditures were about 22,000 above last year.
But a lot of that came from the other funds, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, all in all, the town's doing very well. And unless there's any questions, that's all I have. I
Yeah.
would add that, two projects, the public service report, be getting with Mayor and Brian to finish it by the end of the month. And then the audit, I'm still working on to get with, Farrar and get, scheduled. They did one of my other clients last week, so they said they should be able to get to it by the end of the year, so.
Okay.
So we should get that done. I don't think there's anything else really going on. Has
No.
anybody heard anything about Ruth?
Not
Yeah.
just,
No, okay, just questions.
Yeah, and,
Any questions?
well, I'll just add what Teresa said was correct. You know, our ARPA expenditures, they're embedded within our expenditures, but the transfers from those funds are not, so,
Right.
it's sort of hard to get a true apples to apples, but that's just the nature of, we have to recognize the expenditures in the general fund, and that's why it shows a deficit, but we're actually, you know, very liquid. There was one thing that Roger and I were talking, we weren't able to implement the, direct deposit this past payroll.
Okay.
Mainly the holiday created some bit of a problem, but I wanted to bring, to council's attention, and I'm sure it's probably fine, but Roger, you had found out that they're going to charge us to do this, correct?
$30.
Per person,
a
per,
month. No,
per
a
month.
month, yeah.
yeah.
per person?
No.
Oh, just $30?
Yeah,
Just 30 in total.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay.
nothing.
Well, I misunderstood. I thought that was per person.
Oh, no,
Oh,
no,
no,
Yeah,
it just,
okay.
it's just a $30.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that would not be
I'm
a,
gonna say, we in the wrong business.
Yeah. Somebody's
Yeah.
dropping, yeah. I think it's 50 cents per person,
Oh,
that's-
but the
yeah,
$30 is their fee
yeah,
to run the program.
that's my fault. I
So it's
thought it was per
$30
person.
plus 50 cents a person?
Yes.
That's good.
And that's the ones that actually take the direct deposit, which I figure it, I would think
Ruth
the
had
bulk
said
of
there
it.
was 13 out of 20, I think.
Yeah, it's not much.
I don't think it's objectionable then. Do
Yeah,
you?
that's
Yeah.
minimal.
Seems fine to me.
Yeah.
30 per-
Yeah.
Plus,
I just thought it was 30 per, it's my misunderstanding.
Yeah, I was
Sorry.
like, oh my gosh.
I may have presented it that way, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's just a flat fee of 30 and then
Okay,
50 cents
50 cents
per.
a piece.
Per
Okay.
person, okay.
Okay. In that case, I think we're good. Does council have any concerns? Okay.
I don't.
Anything
I
else,
will
Roger?
set it up for the next,
Okay.
Okay, good.
And are you gonna use multiple banks, I would assume, or just City National, or?
with the employees, I would assume they're probably multiple
Multiple
banks.
banks,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, I think the gentleman said it could take up to 3
Oh,
per
okay.
employee, so,
Okay,
and you can do checking and savings. So.
Okay.
But-
good,
So, but I think Ruth has all that, so
yeah.
it may not be next time. It may be the next payroll.
Yeah, we can look around and
But
find.
we can, Tracy may be able to
Yeah,
find it,
Yeah,
so.
Tracy
Yeah.
probably knows.
Tracy
where
and
it's
I
at.
can find.
It'll either be the next one or the one after. So,
Yeah,
Frank
it'll be
and
fine.
these guys.
Okay. Sounds good.
Anything else?
Anything else for,
Questions or
yeah.
anybody?
Thanks, Raj, appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, very good. Next item on the agenda is a resolution to enter into the land lease purchase agreement regarding the prospective visitor center / museum and recreation area. I think we have that here, and I've talked to Scott about this. We've got a resolution that would enable us to lock in that piece of property. The intent is to lock it down. It gives us a total of 3 years to either complete the build-out with a structure, and if not, by the end of the 3 years, it would be donated at the fair market value or appraisal of that piece of property. Now, we do have a draft agreement from Rob Kreider, the owner. However, Counselor and I were talking, there's a couple points in that we're not clear on, and we would like to, pursue this with the owner to make sure that the language is clear, but it would be, I think, incumbent and reasonable for us to go ahead and approve a resolution for us to proceed if all of the terms are acceptable to our attorney, and I can relay back. But our maximum exposure over a 3-year period is $30,000. It's $10,000 a year. That would cease if, like I say, if we're successful in building a structure which would revalue the property for an appropriate donation to the town. I've talked to the assessor, and the reason behind that is this. Evidently, when a undeveloped piece of property, piece of real estate is improved with a structure, it increases the value of the land, and that makes sense. So that's what we're looking for, because at the current time, the assessed value of the land is not conducive for donation to the town, but at which time we can improve the facility. I think, and we both feel, the owner and myself, that it will be, fine for donation at that point. So this, long story short, if we can approve the resolution to proceed and we work out the deal, we should be able to lock that property down for the 1 year of $10,000, and then a successive $10,000 for the second year. And to be honest, I think it's going to take a little time, for AEP to construct their new tower and clear that site. So this would probably be a good move, because in my estimation, the property, once it's cleared and modified by AEP, it's already going to be much more desirable. So
Yeah, because the things will be smaller, won't they?
yeah, it's one tower replacing
Okay.
the two. And if you've been up there to look behind Hardee's, the new tower is circular, and it's much more modern and streamlined. So I think it's going to be it's not going to be that obstructive to anything that we
Or an
want to do.
eyesore.
Yeah, correct.
It'd be more like modern
So,
Okay.
or artist.
so anyway, we have this resolution. Do you want to?
I gave them to you.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, I've left mine in my, I can read them, but I just,
Okay. Did I state that right, Counselor? Or,
Sounds accurate.
okay.
that's the wrong one.
Was that
That's the published code. I've given you yours and then left mine in the,
do I have?
yeah, you got them.
Yeah, here it is.
A resolution of council approving land lease. Whereas the town of Marmet and its residents would benefit from the lease of certain real property described as a 1.75 acre parcel of commercial property adjacent to the Family Dollar and located on West Virginia State Route 61. And whereas the town of Marmet has negotiated a lease of said property from the Kreider Family Trust, now therefore be it hereby resolved by the mayor and the council of the town of Marmet, Kanawha County, West Virginia, that this council does hereby approve, authorize, and direct the execution of this lease in accordance with the agreed-upon terms. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be effective upon passage by the town council.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions or concerns? Okay, given none, do I have a motion then to accept the resolution?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and what we'll do, our counselor will take a look, and like I say, there's a couple of minor points. It's just more or less language which we felt was confusing, and we'll get clarification, and then once we have a solid document, circulate that with council, but this gives us authorization to proceed if there are no more.
Members of council here, I think, please,
Right.
property with owning it as a gift to us, although we would lease for 2 years free. If we build a structure on there, it makes his tax donation greater,
Right.
although all that is donated back with no payment. So what would be out for 3 years would be 30.
Correct. 20 and possibly 30 if it goes 3 years.
Let's make sure it does.
Yeah, I understood it.
Okay, any other questions or concerns? Okay. Moving on then, next item is the approval to pay Walter Drain Company, which is now
American Legal Publishing.
American Legal Publishing, to update the code and publish online. Recorder Fontaine.
Yeah, I've been in contact with them, and where's my paper? To update and then have them publish online. Dang it. There it is. To update with what I've sent them since within the last 5 years, would be somewhere in between what they said, 34,000 to 38,000. Oh, wait a minute, 3,800.
Woo, good Lord.
3,400 to 3,800. They're gonna do them in gold. Ooh.
But
I was
fell out of my
about to say,
chair.
I know inflation is raised, but my.
Thanks, BJ.
Get that heart pumping. In 2018, they quoted the town a price of $19.95 to convert it to the code to electronic database, infobase, and they're going to honor that. So then you'd have that'd be a one-time fee to convert it, and then a yearly web hosting fee of $465. In the future, when we have more, it'd be $3.50 per page that we would change.
Okay, so once we update, then it's about $460.
It's $460 once we do this update, and then put them online, which will be all grand total of $6,260. Then yearly it would become $465 a year just for web hosting. And I'm sure over the years that'll increase, but And then when we would draft new ordinances, we would send them in, and it would be $3.50 per change page.
Okay.
So how much, what's the 1995?
The 1,995 is to convert the code to a folio fuse electronic infobase, and they'll upload it to the server, and anyone in the country can get on there. It'll say Marmot, and our ordinances will be online, along with whoever else uses that same company. I've gone to them just to look at ordinances from other cities for stuff with like us, but it's very useful.
So is that 1995 included in that 3,400?
No, that is the one-time fee to convert it.
$3,400?
No, the 3,400 is
Is
to
for
get,
ordinances.
our ordinances up to date since they were codified in 2017. Moving it to another company would be outrageous priced, I'm sure.
So it's 3,400 plus 1995.
Yeah, they actually said it'd be between 34 and 38 in the email I have. I'm thinking right now the cost, would, I went with 38, would be $6,260. Then after that, it would become, strictly $465 a year for the web hosting, and then the cost when we would change or, create new ordinances, which was $3.50 a page for the changing. I'm not exactly sure how they determine a page, but
That's gonna be in their favor.
Well, I mean, it's painful, but it's like anything else. If you keep it up to date, like you should, Scott,
Just a couple of points. I didn't realize that 34, 48, it makes sense, but the problem is we modified our books before and then we quit.
Right.
And so we got green books around here from Walter Drain, but we quit update.
Right.
And I think I said this before, I think putting online is critical that we continue to update. Just as we pass an ordinance that becomes a law,
send it in.
I think we're gonna talk one about the fee for dogs, for impounding dogs. That goes, we sent them out, becomes part of the code that we don't have. We've already messed up since I've been here because we ain't updated from 17 to 22. It's 5 years that we did not update our ordinance. No, we passed ordinances.
Oh,
We
yeah.
passed
Well, I
ordinances
got
to wrap up your mattresses. We passed ordinances about when you can set your trash out. We passed, and they never hit the books. I'm not blaming anybody.
No.
Right.
It's all our fault, frankly.
That's
But,
why it's so,
I
the
wish
prices
we would
of-
have done it back then because this is kind of a big lick. I mean, it's like a big lick for me for us to get,
Yeah.
but somebody should have done it back then. That way, $465 a year is $40 a month. And then we're always updated, and then when we pass the ordinance, 2 or 3 pages, 10 or 12 bucks, give them certify it, and it's the books, and we're going forward. But we're in a process of waiting 10 years, doing it again, paying those, we paid, Walter Drain this last time, $6,810.
I don't remember the exactly.
But somebody paid that before.
Right.
And David, you might have been on counter recorded, and somebody paid it back then. I think we
Yeah.
had 3 green books floating around here.
I've
Because
got
we
one.
refused to get this online stuff.
Mhm.
And look, we're not the smallest town on there. Everybody's on there.
Yep.
If you go to amlegal.com/West Virginia, there's 60, 70 towns on that publication alone.
Yeah, I've gone on
This
it.
is the most
Done.
reasonable site when Walter Drain was gone. This is next. There's another one that, Huntington and Charleston on.
Yeah.
And they're a little more pricey.
But we don't need that. Yeah, I know which one you're
But
talking about.
there's a bunch of small towns on here. We can look at other people's laws. They can look at ours.
Yeah.
A lot of, there's such a good idea. I hate this number, for getting them to fix those 5 years of 3,400. But somebody's going to have to sit down. We've got to send it all to them.
Yeah.
Me and BJ and the mayor and.
Well, I've already sent them. I just got some, a few that were, apparently I missed a page or two, and I gotta send in the current, council and all that. So I've got most of everything to them.
That happened in 17 when we didn't do it perfectly right then. Some things that were on our books then that weren't on the 17 fell
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
I don't even think our sewer ordinance, our rates was
Well,
passed, they made it.
we need that.
We went back and repassed 4 or
Yeah.
5 things.
Yeah.
that, Unfortunately, fall through the cracks. But, I mean, look, this is a good idea to put it online. Everybody can see it. Nobody has an excuse to say, hey, I didn't know what the ordinance are. They're online. Everybody can see it. And it's a useful reminder for this council. You guys aren't gonna be here forever, me neither.
No.
For future councils, keep updating and keep this as a living document. And moving forward, that makes 10 years to sit down here when we're not in these seats and say, where's our ordinance book at? You know, where's the ordinance we passed? I just think it's prudent to do. Right? And after this initial hit,
Yeah.
it's reasonably priced.
Just so people are wondering why it's gotta be codified. Why exactly does it have to be codified? Just, I mean,
The state law requires.
okay,
So
I mean,
you
I
have to
didn't,
have your ordinance
what-
codified, that
I
you
mean, I
have to
didn't
be
know.
certified. State law requires that. Our ordinance codification. So we pass laws, that's legal.
oh, yeah.
We have to book.
I didn't realize, I didn't understand why, I mean,
Park's still doing it, but a few years back, we had changed the numbering system. They were carrying the old numbering, probably like 29-1 or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
We went to a different numbering system. Travel. I was supposed to be this 535, 67, but they were carrying the 8.8. That wasn't even the real law. You know, but you might have had the same language, but it wasn't the proper number. But just my take.
Yeah, like I say, it is painful, and there's I'm sure a multitude of sexier things we could spend $6,000 on, but this is really the number one duty of this administrative body is to make the laws and, you know, the ordinances, so we have to.
And the recorder's charged with keeping the record of it.
So,
we all know that if they're online, I can't lose them.
Back there all you want, the cows come home. but
Yeah,
you
they
gotta
can't
prove
walk
that
out of
you
City
can
Hall.
access it.
Yeah.
Not a point.
And if
So
they're
we just-
online, I can't lose the paper.
we, you know, we just have to be consistent and update, and then it won't be.
Well, I make a motion, we do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a motion to accept Councilperson Skeens. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilperson McGee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks. Next is Public Safety, Police Department update. Lieutenant Belcher?
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome.
Hope everyone's doing fine. Since the last council meeting, our CAD number is a computed aided, computed aided dispatch. Our number was 136 CAD calls. Those consisted of the normal complaints, disturbances. They're running about average, 16 and 14 on those. Field interrogations, stopping and talking with people. We done 16 of those. Out of those 16, 3 was actually an arrestable offense. They was put in jail for some various items that they had. We opened up 7 investigations. We closed 5, and we have processed about 7 warrants over the month for domestic violence petitions or domestic batteries or whatever that we've been doing. We did have 3 suicidal thought calls, which goes back into the things that we're dealing with all the time. We did end up grabbing a fugitive from justice. I believe our midnight officer done that with a field interrogation. So that was a good job on that. On the code enforcement side, as you all know, one house on California Avenue, we made progress on that. And in the morning, actually, we're going back to California Avenue with civil process, and we're going to do another writ of execution tomorrow morning. They were to be out tonight. They are not. So we will go down there and assist them out in the morning. Also, the code enforcement officer went to 99th Street and spoke to the property owner over there about some tires, trash, dirt, just rodents around the house, and she's been very compliant with that. And it actually looks a whole lot better than it did last month.
Right.
As far as calls and updates for that, that's our calls. Vehicles are fine. We did get the Dodge Durango back. It had a busted radiator. For some reason, it split apart at the seams. That was warranty work. We did have to pay a little bit of labor for them to take our crash bar off and our lights and siren and put back. A couple things I'd like to bring up about safety, if we could speak to it. We've noticed a lot of people at the ball field and the entrance way. That gate is wide enough for a vehicle to go through there at any given time or any given minute. Are there any plans to erect any kind of cylindrical style, vertical
Something
being?
to be able to
Should've
close
never
these,
been, it should have never been opened up.
So,
neither here and there now.
Yeah.
Gotta fix it.
yes, I was just thinking maybe
Close
Aesthetically, they could be black cement with a reflective stripe on them, just to keep a vehicle from going through that gate. That would really be, I think, probably
Good
a
idea.
good thing for us to look at.
Mhm.
And also, we have some alleyways, Brian, in the city that doesn't have stop signs on them. And I've looked, and there's no place to put stop signs. So I was gonna ask you how you would feel about maybe getting some yellow paint and a stop bar and painting stop at the end, specifically Long Island, down on 87th. I know it's a pretty common thing to stop at an intersection, but sometimes people don't. And we did have a few complaints on people coming out of the alleyway on 87th and Long Alley and almost striking their vehicle. So I was asked to ask you about the paint and the stop signs.
Cool beans.
Okay. I know you're busy, and I know this is minute, but just wanted to bring it out to you. Mayor, I do have Officer Huffman's code enforcement report. It's on Excel sheet if you just like the copy of it.
Sure.
You can see what everything he's doing.
Okay.
And that about wraps us up.
I've got a couple questions.
Yes,
One
ma'am.
is right there at the ball where we was talking about the big arch there. Cars are parking all the way there. We need something there, no parking. They're parking all the way to the road there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I know Officer Johnson stopped down there a couple times, asked people move, because you cannot see when you're trying to come out.
Right.
Kids are coming out of there. It's a dangerous spot. And I've noticed on Saturday night, I've asked the people down there that comes to the dance not to park there. If they're going to park, go on and park in a regular parking spot down through there, but not right on the end.
Well, maybe if we can get some of these cement curbs
Yeah.
put in the front of the parking spot to keep them from actually going over,
Mm-hmm.
that may work, and that would also serve as like a bicycle or motorcycle parking area.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay.
And another thing, I was down there Saturday night and noticed, I don't know if you've had any complaints on it, that there's a kid on a go-kart. It was orange, and it was flying, and
Yeah,
he
I-
almost got hit.
Yeah, actually, we did receive the complaint on it,
Okay.
and Officer Purdue took care of it and had a talk with the
Okay.
kid, told him the dangers he was in, and, he needed
Yeah.
to probably put a
Good.
flag on it,
Okay.
where people can see him, because it does set very
Yeah.
low to the ground.
Yeah, he was coming out the street there, turning into ball field,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody tried to turn in, and that guy was they were right there looking at each other.
Yes, ma'am, we were aware of it, and it was.
And he came on, the little boy came out on the main street with the
okay,
go-kart. No
Oh.
helmet or anything.
That will get the vehicle towed.
Mhm.
If
But he did, the guy stopped that was turning in, and he kept coming, and he actually came out of McCorkle. I think he hugged the sidewalk, but he was on the road and went up the street with no helmet on.
And I did, we did get the complaint. I looked at the displacement on the motor. I'm not sure exactly how big of a horsepower motor that has. Typically, go-karts are 3.5
Yeah.
to 5 horsepower, and that well exceeds the 49 cc limit.
Okay,
2.5 horsepower, I believe, was 48 cc's, so that would be okay. But if it's anything higher than that, then we'll have to address it in
Yeah.
a different way.
and as a child doing it, it wasn't a grown person, it was a little boy.
We
I'd say
yeah.
probably 7, 8, 10,
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
like I said, Officer Purdue dealt with
Okay.
it. He got the driver, spoke
Okay.
to him, and I believe, hopefully, cross your fingers, he stopped that problem.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I seen the kid Saturday myself, so, and I called the non-emergency number.
Good. Any other questions of Lieutenant? Thanks, Chuck. Good job. Appreciate it.
Okay, that's fine. Mayor, did you want this?
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, okay. Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate it. Pass it down, take a look at it. Okay, next item on the agenda is a dog box for the pickup truck. And this is the aluminum, I should have made printouts, I'm sorry, but the aluminum boxes for dogs that are, restrained so that we can keep them safe and properly cared for in lieu of the owner picking them up or taking them to the shelter. And I have 4 quotes on these. All of them, they're 48, I'm sorry, they're 48 by 48 inches, double dog boxes, well constructed, that should be fine as far as fitting in our pickup for code enforcement. And we've already obtained the kennel, which is out back, that some of you have probably seen, for temporarily housing the pet if the Humane Society is not open to receive animals at any certain time. We can post that pet online, and owner can come by and pick up their pet and their citation for allowing it to run loose. But anyway, in order to keep the animals safe and also to keep our officers safe, I think this box would be prudent to purchase for our pickup. The 4 quotes that I have range from $1,233.83, $1,231.95, $1,843.99, and the lowest is $1,095.72. And it's the same unit. I don't know if Teresa, I don't know if you can, sorry, like I say, I should have printed these out, but it's a well-made steel box.
Does that include shipping or no?
Let's see, this one, delivery. Yeah, it says free shipping. Hopefully it's not another gimmick, but, so I would say this would be, well, it would definitely qualify for ARPA funds. It's I think, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of both the animal and our officer. So I would suggest that we purchase that, along with the other equipment, being the bite-proof gloves that go up to your elbow, and a noose that you've seen some animal control use.
Animal grabber, because if you say
Okay.
noose, it just sounds horrible.
Animal grabber.
I mean, I know that's not the official name of it, but
Yeah. And also some training materials. We can purchase all, those are minimal. We've already ordered those. Those were under the threshold for pursuant to our purchasing policy. So this one, though, like I say, it's just over $1,000. Okay.
Make a motion.
Do I have a motion then, Michael?
$1,095?
Yes.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Councilperson McGee, Councilperson Skeens. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
make sure and send me those so I can print them off, because
I will.
we'll need them for the,
Let me just,
well, you know that.
I'll send this to you right now. Yeah, because I'll forget if I
Well,
don't.
I'm telling you stuff, you're like the teacher thing, Craig drives Craig nuts.
Okay, on its way. All right, well, thank you all. I think that'll be a big plus. And let's see, before we move on though, the idea here is this, we're not out to capture dogs and pets, but if we find a animal running loose, a dog, we will take the animal, place it in our kennel. Hopefully the owner would be able to be reached, come by, pick the pet up, and receive the citation for letting the dog run loose. If not, the idea is when the shelter is open, we would take the animal to the shelter, and at that point, the owner, it would be incumbent upon them to contact the shelter to retrieve the animal. So that's, and I don't foresee this being a very, an occurrence that takes place all the time. A couple of times, I think, will be enough for people to learn to keep their pets, in their yards and not let them run loose and creating any type of disturbance. Next up is the infrastructure. Brian?
Evening, Mayor, council members. Appreciate everything you do, and including everything you do for us. We really appreciate it. I just got a few little things here. First thing I want to start with is the cameras that First Security's putting through town. We've been having some trouble with the outlets that we put in there. The outlets have been bad, so we're going to have to replace them. So I'm going to get a man lift, and hopefully we can do it in one day. So we're going to have to rent another man lift to get that for just that one day. So, but anyway, there's no other way for us to get there.
Yeah.
So we're just going to get one of them little pull behind and go as cheap as we can for one day. So just wanted to let you guys know about that. So if you see us out there, we're going to be doing that Thursday. So that's what's going on there.
Okay.
And the special meeting we had, when we got the approval for the spreader and the plow, them are ordered. The spreader is going to take approximately 50 days to get it, but that was a week ago. So, and then the plows was 40 days out. So hopefully it'll be a little sooner than that, but who knows? But that's just the nature of the beast right now. I mean, there just ain't nothing you can do about it. So, and that's like the next thing here, our trench boxes that we've ordered, what's that, 3-4 months ago now?
Yeah.
We still ain't got them. So, but as soon as we get them, and on that note, we actually got our drawings from Potesta today for the 98th Street project. So as soon as we get our trench boxes in, and I get the stuff ordered for that, we'll be starting on 98th Street on that project up at the head of holler up there. So, but like we said, going back to getting material. So hopefully we can get it done. But at least we have a list of what we need now. So we'll get on that.
Yeah, and also regarding that study, there's, I guess, the last leg of that project is on private property, so we'll need to do a right of way or some easement for us to do that. But that was the recommended path from Potesta.
Right.
So we'll come to council with that to be approved.
Right. So
that's the Knights, right? Steve Knight.
I think that's what he said. I can't remember. I'm sure it's on that map there. And the next thing we got is Mr. Asphalt. We got a hold of Mr. Asphalt 2 weeks ago. So hopefully either later on this week or the beginning of next week, I think they're going to be starting it soon. So that's coming too. Just as soon as they get freed up, they're coming here next. They're in Canal City. So as soon as we get that, so we should be good there. And all of our vehicles, everything is up to snuff now, except our vac truck. Which the only thing happened, we had there's a piston pump on it, and the pump went out. But Western Union Tractor's fixing it for free for us. So we just gotta get that squared away, and then we should be getting that back. But other than that, everything's up to snuff as far as your everyday stuff. I mean, there's always stuff that comes up, but we're just trying our best to keep up with it as best we can. So, but other than that, that's all I have. Unless you guys got something for me.
Is there like a temperature or anything that it gets too cold to actually pave? Because I know we're under like a freeze warning tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll talk to him about that. I know that whenever we first met with him, I was under the understanding that the asphalt company, where they get their asphalt from, shut down in October. But he told us that was wrong. They're not shutting down until Christmas. So, they know more about that than I do. Honestly, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, because I was thinking there has to be like certain temperatures or something for it to be able to set.
Yeah.
And I know it's just one night, and I know the temperature's going to go up a little bit,
Right.
but they're not going to be. I think we've about kissed the 70s goodbye.
Well, now take this for what it's worth. On the Weather Channel app that I have on my phone, next week's supposed to be back in the 70s.
Right.
This weekend.
Yeah. So
This weekend.
Okay,
who
good,
knows?
okay.
So honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
So I let them guys make the call. They do it every day. I don't.
Okay.
So
did.
But,
Which,
is there anything else?
Brian, you have a number on how many outlets went bad?
Well, we got 8 more that we gotta replace.
8
So, and then I did 9, and we put in 15?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
And the first one they found was down Bill Wells, and I went down there and did it. Well, they had their lift here.
Right.
I just used their lift. And then whenever they took their lift back, the day that he called me and told me that the outlets was bad,
Mhm.
they already took theirs back. So, you know, and that's the soonest that I could get one was Thursday.
That's fine.
You know which ones are.
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we can do it, but I mean, like
Oh,
I
I
said,
know.
it's gonna be just a little bit different because it's one of them towable ones. So we'll have, you know, flaggers and the whole deal on this one because it won't be like it was before. It'll be a little bit different, but we'll get it. And so me and Jeremy get up there and get it knocked out. We just need somebody to keep traffic off of us. That's the main thing. But yeah, we can do it in a day. So,
Yeah, in our sanitation meeting, Terry Morant, we were discussing some of the funding available, and evidently AML, Abandoned Mine Lands, is flush with cash, and he has suggested that we take a look at this issue up on Summit. So we might kind of pursue him first before Mr. Asphalt comes, just in case. I mean, I know that'd be extremely fast, but he may put us in touch with somebody to come out and take a look at it from AML.
well, what we can do is have him go and do the
Yeah,
lower part of
yeah.
Summit first,
Actually, that wouldn't hurt.
and then jump down here, and then that'll
That's
free up
true.
a few more days, and then
Right.
come back and finish that
That's
up.
right.
Sounds good.
That's right.
Sounds good.
So, but yeah, we can definitely do that.
Sounds good.
But yeah, hopefully, you know, we can have some good news for them residents up there and
Yeah.
try to help them out as much as we can.
Good. Very good.
So,
And also, Appalachian Regional Commission just put out a call for grant applicants for storm and wastewater applications. So we also discussed that, and we thought maybe we would make an application for this master study that we've been talking about for a year, because that's going to be quite pricey. And I think, and Terry's going to check and see if we qualify for the ARC grants. If so, I don't, you know, I'll come back to council, but I'll go ahead and pursue that because we want to be in quickly because those close pretty quick. I think January will be the closing date for those funds. So
is that another one of them first come, first served kind of deals?
I'm sure it's 30 million, you know, which
Yeah.
sounds like a lot, but
Yeah, it
that's,
don't take very
that's
long.
the whole that's the whole Appalachian
Right,
Yeah,
basin. So that's quite a few, 14 states or maybe.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
yeah, that will go fast.
yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd let council know that, but any other questions for Brian? Okay, appreciate it, Brian. Great job.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, Bill's not here. You want to give us an update on recreation?
Well, you can see the ball field's been used a lot. Bill's been opening up for basketball practice for the rec for 3 nights a week, and our dance attendance has been up. We've been showing a pretty good profit. This last week wasn't as good, but we've been showing a pretty good profit on the dances the last few weeks, which was good. And the rec building, though, is 10 times better than what it has been as far as cleanliness.
Okay.
I mean, you walk in, I walked in today to pick up a couple things from the kitchen that I left there Saturday night, and automatically you walked in, you can smell the difference. So Wayne's doing a wonderful job with
Yeah.
that. He really is.
Yep.
So,
Very good. Yeah, and you know, we talked about the checklist
right.
before. I think if we did that and, you know, someone to come up with items to check, just like, you know, burner, stove burner, catch, drip, what do they call it? Drip pans.
Yeah.
You know, just things like, check that, make sure the sinks are clean, you know, just, and have them as part of the rental package when somebody rents it. And also, when someone picks up the dance check, have it there too, because, you know,
In all honesty, mostly that I've went up there and checked, when somebody rents it, they do wipe everything down. I know there was a couple ladies that did the concession Saturday night. and they wiped down everything, and I'd went in and cleaned the refrigerator, wiped it down while I was
Yeah.
killing some time, and wiped the outside down. And then when they closed up, they did the stoves and the sinks and all that and everything. And I went back today just to make sure and get a couple of my
They do
pans.
that for a fundraiser for? them?
No, it was, Bill was off Saturday night.
Oh, okay.
And so 2 women volunteered to do it, to go in
okay.
and sell hot dogs and stuff. So,
Okay, well, maybe those were aberrations, you know, the couple of times you were saying, but, you know, but, you know, that's a reflection on us, you know, the
It is.
cleanliness of it, and while we're speaking about that, we potentially have a lot on our plates, but, the winter would be a great time for, you know, if we're gonna repaint inside and redo the bathrooms, great time to, you know, get that
Yes.
done.
I'd give anything to get those bathrooms redone.
Yeah, well, and it's minimal, it really, unless we're gonna move plumbing, which is substantial to cut up concrete. Unless we're gonna do that, or expand, I know one of our council people would love to expand the bathrooms, but I don't know. It may be best just to, you know, improve what we have, and at that, I'm thinking 8,000, I know, and that's just not really a lot to have 2 complete nice bathrooms with dryers. I've got costs on the new, stalls, they're not that bad, they really aren't, and, so.
Brian, could you have Tommy check that one stove down there? The one nearest the tracks? I think the oven works, but the stove, the burners on top doesn't work.
I've never used it, so I don't, I
Well,
always
that's-
use the one in the
that's why.
back.
That's right, that's why you won't use that one, because it doesn't
And then, of
work.
course, the one burner is,
The
well,
one closest to the,
railroad
railroad
tra-
tracks.
to the opening,
Yeah.
you know, the front of
Yeah.
the.
Yeah.
But
Well,
we do need a burner
Element.
replaced element that he left the coffee pot on.
but
Okay.
that whole thing doesn't work.
They are, and the women took one out and put in there the other night. She did, she's smart enough to do that, so.
Yeah.
She did, but they took the other element, somebody hadn't put it up in a cabinet, and I thought, well, outside, out of mine.
Right.
It's not gonna go anywhere as long as it's like that.
Yeah.
But she did take one off the front stove, put it on the back stove.
But yeah, that one doesn't work. It'd be nice to have that
For
for
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving dinner,
Yeah. Okay.
if it can be, you know, I'm just right. I don't know, sometimes it doesn't work.
We'll take it.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other, topics for recreation?
Bill still doing the kickball on Wednesday? Is he still doing that?
He's supposed to this coming Wednesday, yeah,
Okay.
have a kickball.
Yeah, that's what I seen on Facebook.
Deal. Oh, if you don't care, next time you see Dustin, is it Dustin or Justin with the cameras? Justin. Next time you see, ask him about that, uninterrupted power supply for the rec, please.
Now, is that the one, whenever, you talked to Steve about that?
Yeah, that's true. Steve, yeah.
Steve's the owner.
Okay.
Okay,
One other thing, we have the trunk or treat is on the 28th from 6 to 8. And I've had quite a few response, people want to come and set up.
Okay.
But we'd like to get, and I never put it on the thing, the fire departments, reach out to fire departments. I've
We'll be there.
thought of churches, everything else, but I was gonna give send out some letters to some of the churches, things, see if we get some more participation.
Are we gonna have enough room if we got so many,
That's what we said, 6:30 to 8:30, I thought.
what?
I thought it was 6:30
30
to
to
8:30.
8:30, but it's 6 to 8 because several people started complaining, which one lady was wrong, that come to me and she said, well, trick or treat's from 5 to 7, but it's not, it's 6 to 8.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought, leave it 6 to 8 because several people said it's too late for kids to be out at 8:30 at night. Their kids go to bed early. So, you know, you can't please
well,
everybody, I don't
Friday.
care what you do. Yeah, but it's still, that one lady,
Not a
she
school
said,
night.
yeah. And not school night, she lets him stay up till
8:30?
9 though. But,
If he wants some candy, he'll be there.
Yeah, I want some candy, it'll be there.
I can't find it,
Okay.
cause I don't know why it's not on there.
It's okay. Okay.
Churches.
Anything else regarding recreation?
okay.
Okay, hearing none. Last item under personnel is the employee evaluation form. I'm trying to get us a simple form to use for employee evaluations, which hope to have completed by the end of November. So what I'll do, I'll find something, maybe a couple examples, and just run them by Ruth and Tracy, and then get your just your thoughts on them, and then I'll go with something, and they're very, they're what we've all seen, and probably include like an employee self-evaluation part, very small, and some type of rating scale, and an acknowledgement of the discussion, and you know how those go. So I'll get those and shoot everybody some examples.
I did have one question
Sure.
though. Are you gonna be evaluating the department heads or?
Sure.
Okay, all right.
Yep, absolutely. Brian?
I just want to add something on the personnel issue. It's not an issue, but I just want to give a shout out to Ruth and Tracy. I mean, because them two are awesome. I just want to let you guys know that I couldn't do my job without them two right there. I just want to let y'all know that.
Yeah, they
Very
do
good.
a very good job.
So what are you wanting to buy now?
No, I'll say, you take a,
He's buttering.
I'll let him know. Get you like a fruit, get your fruit basket or something.
He
Yeah.
knows how to work
Yeah.
it.
That's a good one. That was a good one.
I'm sure we all
That was a
echo those sentiments, though. It's
Yeah.
True. Okay, next item, Good and Welfare Council. Anything discussed?
Nothing that I know of.
Okay. All right, public, Good and Welfare.
Let me check Facebook.
We'll just put it on next.
I know, but it's annoying me.
Let's see if-
I looked at text.
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay. All right, hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Ah,
We are adjourned.
good night, guys.